Okay, I did spacing in the piano, and I'm going to record that spacing. Got to be careful not to mark my hammers, so I lower them before I make the mark. This is not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, and coupled with spacing them to each other, it's going to give me a very accurate place to return to after I tweak my traveling and squaring. So you may remember that I traveled the shanks before I hung the hammers, and I employed the hammer square light to keep myself basically vertical as I went. Okay. Make the ends of the feet of the regulating rack flush to the guides, so I have a place that I can come back to. I have taken number 1. If I turn this knob by mistake, and all of a sudden I don't know whether my template is correct or not, this gives me a record. I line this up, put it underneath note number 1, which is in my my scale, and I'm back in business. Okay, next steps are to tweak the travel as needed, and the squaring to vertical, and then spacing. And to do that, I need to set up the squaring platform. And the squaring platform was set up before for hanging the hammers, and before that for traveling the shanks when they were a part of the action. So I am going to retrieve the depth gauge that I took the measurement from, so I can just go directly back to the place that it was in when I did the traveling. But the idea is to have the sliding top high enough so that it clears the back checks when they're at rest, and of course when the hammers are up, they're up. So you may have to loosen them up a bit and go over, but so they're not jammed against the top of the back checks, but they are under the shanks. And then this can lift those shanks up so the hammers are at strike for whatever operations that we need that for. In this case, squaring at strike. Okay, here's my depth gauge from the previous setup. I'm going to quickly set this side, and then because there could be a seesaw effect, once I've set this side, I'll go back and check it. Yeah, there's a little tiny bit. Okay, that's good. So the idea is we go over the back check. this down because that was from when it was just on the bench. So I need to know in and out, and when it's contracted, I want to make sure that these guys clear all the hammers. And you know, that'll do it. Something like that. And I'll clamp it in place just so that it gives me no trouble. Okay, and so the first operation is going to be checking the travel. And, you know, one way to do it is with the shank traveler. And in fact, if I'm going to use the shank traveler, I want this to be a little bit further back. Make it flush, perhaps. Yeah. Okay, that way I can just come all the way forward here, and probably I would want to take off the rest rail since there is a little bit of a conflict there. But of course I've been through these and that was perfect. So what I'm going to do instead is take my long screwdriver which of course is across the shop. There we go. And I will take them out this way. Wow. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know. Pretty good. Okay, I've got a little bit of tweaking, which I'm going to do off of camera. You've seen this process before, and